anyone who works hard can have a good life in a beautiful home on a safe street, protected by brave troops. Canada should be the richest country in the world. We have the second largest landmass in the world, the third largest petrol reserves, and the sixth largest reserves of lithium, uranium, and potash. We have 154 million acres of farming land. We have abundant energy for data centers and the cold to cool them. We produce hydroelectricity here in Quebec, but it requires dams and construction and permits. So why is our country falling economically? Why is our economic growth amongst the worst of all our competitor countries? And that's been in the last 10 years. Why, per capita, is the United States increased 40 times faster their economy than we've been able to do here in Canada? Why is that? Why did $500 billion of net investments leave our country and go to the United States? It's because of the bureaucratic barriers is preventing production of our resources. It takes many years to get a mining construction permit. The second worst in terms of permits. After 5 years, $176 billion in the energy sector were canceled. This was under the Liberals, and this is mainly because of bureaucratic red tape. These projects would have made us more independent and less dependent on the United States. For example, the Energy East pipeline would have allowed us to send over 1 million barrels of oil across Canada towards New Brunswick. We would have been able to get away from the United States and provide energy to Europe and break their dependence on Putin. The project was cancelled after the Liberals suddenly and inexplicably changed the rules of the game in the middle of the consideration. Mr. Carney supported the cancellation of that pipeline and also supported cancellation of the Northern Gateway pipeline at the same time that his company was investing in American coal. LNG Quebec will have also allowed those from Saguenay to liquefy and transport energy from Canada to Europe and get around the U.S. market. Russia dominates the energy market in Europe, and the Americans are monopolizing Canadian energy. We sell literally 100% of our natural gas to the United States. 100% of our exports because we cannot liquefy them in order to transport them overseas. Mr. Carney also opposed those projects and proposed industrial tax on our industries. At the same time, he was investing in pipelines in the Middle East, and he moved the headquarters of his company to New York. Now, he's continuing to have millions of dollars in investments in Brookfield that go against the interests of Canada. That's why today I call on Mr. Carney to disclose all his financial interests and disclose this to Canadians before an election is called. If he's going to be a candidate for Prime Minister with millions or tens of millions of dollars invested elsewhere that creates conflicts and that go against our national interests, then he should disclose that to Canadians before calling an election. We also need to recognize that Bill C-69, which is the Liberals' anti-pipeline bill, has made it virtually impossible to approve projects such as LNG Quebec. That's why I've asked the Liberals to reverse that before the elections instead of making promises. All right, we're going to sneak in a quick break here as we continue to listen to Conservative Leader Pierre Poilievre. He's speaking today in Quebec. We'll be right back.
We, the North, are now we, the champions.
Did you know the Brick is proudly Canadian-owned and operated? We started right here in Canada over 50 years ago. Now, our 5,000 team members are proud to be your neighbor in more than 200 communities across Canada. And we support all Canadians with a growing selection of quality-made Canadian products and manufacturers. Nobody knows more about furnishing Canadian homes at the guaranteed lowest price than us. The Brick, saving you more. It's not just a slogan. Saving you more is our obsession.
After her partner's health scare, Sam needed to make some changes. So she got North Cover Life Insurance. Their licensed advisors helped choose coverage to suit her exact needs and budget. Now Sam's so well covered, it's like she's wearing a parka. Her family will be looked after with a cash payout of up to $1.5 million. Or she could receive 100% of the benefit up front if diagnosed with a terminal illness. North Cover. Comfort in being protected. Get a quote today. Call 1-844-657-1010 now or visit northcover.ca.
You're an elite talent, always ready to shine. You can visualize greatness because you're built different. Kathy. You too, Alex. Get a full view of your business all in one place with Intuit QuickBooks.
Allergy symptoms. You feel terrible. You look terrible. Your nose drips like a faucet. You can't stop itching and clawing at your eyes. Everyone around you thinks you're contagious, so you're constantly explaining they're just allergies. Thankfully, there's Reactin. It acts fast and lasts 24 hours. Reactin. Serious about allergies.
All right, back to Quebec and Conservative leader Pierre Poilievre. Let's listen.
Quatrièmement, on va proposer des permis préalables avant même de recevoir une demande.
That's before even receiving an application. So permits will be published online. They will contain a control list that businesses will be able to follow in order to protect the environment and people. Then companies will be able to buy the land, establish, hire workers, and build, knowing that they already have a permit. It's not just about accelerating permits. It's also that permits will be completed before an application is even received. For example, let's take an area that's been identified as being a perfect spot for natural gas, for the liquefaction of natural gas. For example, La Baie, the port area in La Baie. There's already an industrial area. Therefore, we can work in collaboration with the government of Quebec, the municipalities, as well as other interests. We could consult, study, review, and ensure that the project can be done in an environmentally protected way. We would publish the permits, and the investors across the world would be able to make their own judgment about whether it's a good investment or not. This is necessary. After 10 years of canceling projects one after one, many investors are afraid and think it's not worth it to invest in Canada because it takes 10 years in order to perhaps get a permit. We need certainty. We need to bring the $500 billion of investments that we've already lost to the U.S. back here. We've lost that because of liberal taxes and blocking. I'm also announcing today that a Conservative government will work together with the government of Quebec and the municipalities in order to establish a zone that is ready to build Canada First in Saguenay and to pre-approve the construction of a natural gas liquefaction plant in Saguenay in order to create jobs in the Saguenay region. This will create a lot of work for companies such as FabTech to produce the steel and machines and infrastructure needed. It will also give certainty to investors. Then, investors can immediately consider
Leader Pierre Poilievre.